May CPI. Here's the futures right now, as you can see, off significantly. Rick Santelli standing by at the CME in Chicago. Rick, what's going on in your world? You got some thoughts about overall market sentiment?
Yeah, I think markets are starting to lose some patience with regard to the conflict in the Middle East. I think markets had been quite optimistic. The volatility is obvious in the equity space, but even in the Treasury complex, how we track along with oil prices, this is a time where government spending is ramping up globally, and that's underpinned by a major issuance, bond selling around the globe, and that's governments. Add in what's going on with AI. This is not a good time to be testing the markets. And today's inflation data may be interpreted more intensely due to what's going on in the Middle East. And the numbers are hitting the wires. Our May read on the Consumer Price Index comes in exactly as expected, up 0.5%. As of now, I don't see a revision in the rearview mirror to up 0.6, but up 0.5, of course, would be the lightest since it was up 0.3 in February. We came in light. Jan and Feb were 0.2 and 0.3 respectively. It heated up after that. Now, if we look at core on a month-over-month basis, we are less than expected. Up 0.2, we're expecting up 0.3, and that is half of the rearview mirror, which was up 0.4. That equals where we were in Feb and March. To find a smaller number, you're going all the way back 1 year, basically, to May of last year. Now, let's look at the year-over-year perspective. 4.2 is the year-over-year. We were talking about that on the show earlier, Becky. 4.2 expected. That's what we received. However, that's not necessarily good news. It matched expectations because in the rearview mirror was 3.8%. 4.2 would be the warmest since April of 23. Now, in my opinion, year-over-year core is probably the most important number, exactly as expected, 2.9. But once again, it's still hotter than last month's 2.8. 2.9 would be the warmest since 3% in September of last year. Quickly, the index that goes back to 1913 comes in at 335. Why do I mention that? Because it's another new all-time high. After 100 and X years, we are now continually almost on a month-over-month basis moving up on the index. And if you look at the core index, same scenario except for 336. This started in 57, once again a record. You know what? I think we need to also look at real average hourly earnings. Year over year, they came in minus 0.7. And the reason I'm looking at these, because last month we turned it negative at minus 0.3, first negative number since Feb of 23. Now this now becomes the most negative number also since Feb of 23, because that was minus 1.1. And if we look at year over year weekly average hourly earnings, same scenario. It turned negative last month at minus 0.2, first time since May of 23. Now it's even more negative at minus 0.4, which equals May of 23. To find a more negative number, you're in April of 23. So the inflation, of course, affecting average hourly earnings both on a weekly and hourly basis. We want to make sure that earnings keep up with inflation. We don't necessarily want them to be much faster. We don't necessarily want to embed inflation in the wage component. That certainly doesn't seem to be happening here. Interest rates, they were really bouncing around a bit. 10-year briefly traded down to 4.51. It's back to 4.53, which it was pre-number, and that's up 1 basis point. Back to you.
Great, Rick. Thanks. Steve Leisman joins us now with more. Not a lot of big surprises, I don't think, as Rick just highlighted, Steve.
No, but in context, Joe, it's not a bad number, and I say that in context because the overall numbers are not good. The headline number not good, heading to 4.2, and the core number headed to 2.9, not a good number. But inside of that, the fact that we got the 0.2 on the core, remember we were talking about that? That was sort of the key to the thinking at the Fed. I think there's going to be some welcoming of that number. We got there in part through the owner's equivalent rent. That's the proxy for housing costs. Getting back down to normal. Remember we had the surge last month because we were correcting for the shutdown. Now that was 0.5. Now we're back down to 0.3. That helps. A couple other things I saw is you were flattered by new vehicle prices declining by 0.3%. Not sure why that was. And medical care commodities down 0.7. It's been on a 3-month or a 5-month roll here on those medical care commodities. Food at home also doing a little better. It may be worse to come, Joe. I don't know, because we were talking about the idea that you have this high oil prices. That's come off a bit. These are the worst oil price gains we've had in the 3-month period or the 4-month period now. But the question is whether or not that seeps into others. I think the Fed's going to be cautious here. My question going into this was, is this a number that's going to push other Fed officials through the door towards being concerned about higher inflation and possibly thinking about hiking rates? I don't think so. I think this stops them more at the hold position than it does at the hike position.
Right. For some reason, I was kind of surprised, guys, that it was only last year in September we hit a core at 3.0. I mean, the world didn't seem like it was ending at that point. So many things are like that. I look back at some of the gasoline prices that we've had in the last couple of years, where everything just seems so horrible right now. I'm just not sure what the difference. What was it when it happened last time, Rick?
It was it.
Yeah. You know what? And you bring up a great point, Joe. These aren't necessarily good numbers, but as you pointed out with year-over-year core, we have seen a bit worse. I don't know that that's a good way to look at it. I think ultimately what's going on in Mideast, should that solution arrive, should the conflict end, I really do think that we will see some of these numbers cool off rather quickly. I don't think much of what's going on in the Middle East, added to what was already in the inflation pipeline, is going to stay inside the economy or metastasize within the numbers. But I do think that, time is really growing short, and the longer these things stay elevated, as Steve pointed out, oil may be coming down, but some of these numbers are running hot. Even though they may have been hotter, we need to make some progress here.
Go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say, Joe, back in September, you had inflation. The trajectory was coming down, as well as the idea that you didn't have.
What is going on, guys? So inflation came in line, 4.2% year over year. The only one that really surprised was we got core inflation. One second. I'm trying to see if there's a trade here. NQ took data high, ES didn't. I think both will eventually take data low before market open. I think there might be a trade here. Let's see. Hold on. 1 hour, 1 hour. We touched midnight. We didn't touch midnight. Do we take data low? Or does ES take data high first? I think this is possible. I may take this short here. What time is it? I think there's a short here. I like the risk to reward. The only problem is beyond the 30 seconds. I want to see maybe ES takes data high first as well, but doesn't hit midnight, and we'll still have the divergence. All right. So inflation came in at 4.2% year over year, which was what was expected. Month over month came in the same as expected. The one that was surprising was X food and energy. As you see, if I go back a little bit right here, X food and energy came in at 0.2% versus 0.3%. So once again, the market is trying to get the market is trying to understand the Middle Eastern conflict, or at least trying to give an excuse or a pass to the conflict in the Middle East as being temporary. And that, yes, although fuel costs are elevated and this might affect inflation in the short term, the market is still kind of seeing it as temporary. And you could see that even in oil prices. So yesterday there were reports that an Apache helicopter was shot down. Supposedly it was done by Iran, and then there was a retaliation in strikes. The Strait of Hormuz is still basically completely shut, and still oil is flat on the day, trading at below 90. Now, overall, since the conflict started, we are in this elevated range. But you could see the news being less effective on oil prices. And I would not be surprised today if oil ends up, it could potentially end up red today. But right now it is rather flat. It's up 1%. It's below $90 for light crude oil futures. So, yeah, I'm going to set an alert here on ES to see if it takes data high. And then I think there will be a short to data low. In terms of the overall day, as I said yesterday, and we hedged the shit out of the market yesterday, those puts, those QQQ puts printed 50% in one day, and they expired in April. But if you take a look at where the market is currently, right, QQQ dropped 8%. As I said yesterday in the Discord, that is a decent dollar cost averaging point. You know, nothing too crazy, but if QQQ is down 8%, yeah, and you're investing for the long term, you dollar cost averaging that for sure. Same as the SPY. SPY was down 5%. But if you look at this, we hit the 48 EMA on both SPY and QQQ. And if you look at the weekly, the 9 EMA makes a whole lot of sense, right? If you look in a bull market, the 9 weekly EMA gets touched 3 to 4 times a year. We haven't tapped this all year since the 10% correction that we got in March, April, right? We haven't tapped the 9 weekly EMA. But if you look even, you know, during healthy markets, the 9 weekly EMA gets tapped on the upswing pretty often, right? Here's 2023. And a couple times a year you hit the 21 weekly EMA, right? Which obviously Wait, did I have that on the whole time? Oh no, it was on mute. All right, anyway, what I was saying was the 21 EMA, you know, gets hit 21 weekly EMA gets hit a couple times. So to me, this is extremely normal, especially after a very euphoric run. And you know, this is what we expected for June, right? I made videos on it. Obviously, in the Discord itself, you know, I was writing about June volatility. And then you could see here yesterday, bought the 720 puts yesterday, closed half of them for 50%. But this is something that we expected and didn't open, you know, any new swings this week. So to me, this is extremely normal. I mean, even if you look at Micron, like what, it hit the 21-day moving average. Oh no, it's still in a violent uptrend, right? If you look at SanDisk, same thing. 21-day moving average. Like, does this look like disaster? You know what I mean? So I think that people are over leveraged, and a lot of people bought the top on things, and so they're feeling the burn when you're down just a few percentage points on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. I mean, down 8% in a couple days is a lot for sure, and everyone's going to feel it. But I think as opposed to like objectively looking at what's going on, and you look at these stocks here, I mean, this stock looks so strong here. If you looked at SanDisk or Micron, even if you looked at something high beta like Photonics, right? Like here's AAOI's chart. I mean, does this look like disaster here? What is this? Hold on.
Here, I believe we are looking at some footage. Yes, that's Bill Gates. He is just arriving on Capitol Hill. The billionaire Microsoft founder is set to answer questions about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein in a closed.
Funny. No one's ever going to get prosecuted for shit. Anyway, but you look at something high beta like photonics, right? I mean, everything looks completely normal here. This is how high beta trades, right? Look at Coherent. These are all still very valid trades. All right, here's Lumentum. Even if you look at something super high beta like Sivers Semiconductors, it's still at the 21 EMA. Like nothing here, nothing has happened. Now, if you take a look at stocks like Nvidia, right, or Meta, or Microsoft, these stocks are not doing very well. Nvidia is just flat, let's be honest. You know, Nvidia has just been flat. And it did have a nice run. I mean, since the bottom of April, it did have a 43% run. And people tend to forget that. But, you know, this is the previous all-time high. And it's back trading in this range. But Microsoft, Meta, these companies are spending a shit ton of money, right? As I've been telling you guys in the videos, you have to separate the AI build out into two major categories. You have the companies that are doing the spending, and you have the companies that are being spent on. So photonic stocks are being spent on, right? If you take a look at, let me take a look at Nokia. Oh, this is nice here. I might enter this today. Memory stocks, they're not doing the spending, right? They're being spent on. But you take a look at the companies doing the spending, and they look like shit. Because all of their cash flows that they're generating is going on the AI build out. Wait, did ES hit data high yet? No. Yeah, like I said, I would not be surprised if oil turns red today. Which is crazy considering a freaking helicopter was shot down yesterday or the day before, but was reported yesterday. Now, keep in mind the SpaceX IPO. A lot of this is front running the SpaceX IPO, which is on Friday. And I think this is some typical sell the news, profit taking, rebalancing as well for the SpaceX IPO. And then if you take a look at next week is Kevin Warsh's first FOMC. When do you think companies doing the spending will catch a bid? When they stop spending. I mean, if you want to make money now, look, if you want to make money now, you have to be on the right train, okay? yes, Meta, Microsoft, if you take a look at, hold on, is there a short here? I think we're going to get a short on the indices. But it's a fucking shame if ES does not take that out. We need ES to take this out. Which it might do right now. And by short, I mean just to data low. I don't mean I'm bearish for the day. When they stop spending, people will worry and they will sell the market for a nice entry. This is where you're wrong, okay? The market is clearly fragmented right now. And it's not the same. The reason that people are struggling with this market, think about it, is because it's not the same market as 2021, right? In 2021, you could have been a blindfolded monkey and you could have made money because everything went up, literally everything. It's not the same. In 2021, 2020, 2021, we had insane money printing, okay? And everything went up. Anything you touched. It could have been the shittiest stock on planet Earth, and it went up. The reason people are struggling now is because they don't understand how to trade the current market, because they're confused. Why is Meta not going up? Why is Microsoft not going up? These are great companies. Why is software taking a beating, right? But again, that's why I put together that AI build out list for you guys that I keep going over in videos week after week, because even if you're not in the Discord, I want you guys to understand and look at the market the correct way. If you want to make money now, you have to be on board the companies that are being spent on. If you're just worried about the long term, someone asked me, is Meta still a good buy for the long term? Yes, obviously, Meta is still a good buy for the long term. But you're not going to make money now. You just are not. You cannot fight the market. Okay? Because the money cares about cash flows. So, or the market cares about cash flows. So when you look at something like, what is this? Amazon, okay? Let's look at it on AlphaScope together. Look at this. The blue is debt. The green is cash. Amazon's a great company. Let's look at how much in cash from operations it generates, right? If we go to annually. Cash from operations, $139.5 billion for full year 2025. They're generating an insane amount of cash. Look at the gross profit, $360 billion. But all of that money is being spent, right? So these companies, the market views them as big spenders, not to mention the fact that they're taking on more debt than they have before. And some of these companies are now doing sales, like Google did an $80 billion stock offering. Meta is about to do an offering as well. So these companies that are the market sees as cash flow machines and prices them as cash flow machines are taking a hit because they are spending all of that cash. Now, companies that are not seen as cash generating machines are priced as hyper growth companies. So when you look at, Applied Optoelectronics, AAOI, or when you look at Coherent, these companies, obviously, if you take a look at their fundamentals, shout out to AlphaScope, by the way, still only $19 a month currently until prices go up at some point. So make sure you click the link in the description to lock that in. But if you look at this, yes, growing revenues, growing gross profit, But if you look at its valuation, price to earnings is 118, right? Price to sales is almost 9, trading almost 9 times sales. So you look at this company, you're like, why is Coherent going up and not Meta? Because Coherent is priced as a hyper growth company. And Meta has been around for 20 years and is priced as a cash generating machine. Simple. So, yes, you're going to buy Meta. You will, if you open your portfolio in 20 years, you'll be happy. It's just not where the money is right now. It's spending all of its money. And so someone said when they stop spending money, the market will crash. Yes, the AI stocks will crash. But if you guys remember, you guys don't remember, but if you look it up in the year 2000, there was a rotation from internet stocks back to the safe stocks, right? At the time, a lot of the oil companies, even tobacco companies, food companies, these were considered the forgotten safe stocks. Do I really want to short this? Fuck, man. I wish ES took data high. It didn't, so it still has some kind of divergence. And I think that one of them at least is going to take that 830 low. The market does open in half an hour. This is a good risk to reward. This is a great risk to reward here. We're getting almost 3-1. But hold on. We did hit the 5-minute. $42-point stop to make 106 points. I bet my life 2030 SPY will be under 450. Well, congrats. You're a fucking idiot. And hopefully you don't lose your life. Will we take out data low by market open? I might take this just because the risk to reward is so good. All right. Let's see what happens here. Don't like that we're in a 5-minute. What time is it? Fuck. Should I wait until market open, or does this take out 8:30 low by market open? Did you close your QQQ hedge puts? I have half of them open, as I said in the Discord. Let's go. Fuck, I don't like that. Don't give me this divergence bullshit here. This is what I'll do. I'm not too sure about this right before market open. I hope it does flush and take out 8:30 low before market open for a few reasons. Obviously, one, for the trade. Two, because I think it will be more efficient for when the market opens. But the fact that we did hit that 5-minute, which is also a 15-minute, we tapped that fair value gap. We could see this go up, sweep the highs one more time before coming back down. But I would love to see a flush before market open. Take out 8:30 low on at least one of the indices, which NQ's 8:30 low is right there. ES is all the way down here. I mean, this is off of a 1-minute fair value gap. There aren't any imbalances higher than that. Is Meta a buy now? Or should I wait? I'm not your financial advisor, bro. You should do whatever you want. Flush, you fuck. Oh, there you go. I just had to talk nice to it. All right. Stopped out for break even there. Not willing to fuck around on this trade right before market open. As I said, I think there may be a sweep of the highs. So I'm okay with that. And we'll see what happens after the market opens. Just found your channel the other day. I'm 49 years old and brand new to stocks. Just want to thank you for all the great info. Appreciate it. For once, a nice comment. Appreciate it. Thanks for streaming live and answering questions. I appreciate you. Wow. Second very nice comment. Appreciate you too. Thank you for watching. Just joined the community. Not sure how to access the Discord. Please have your team reach out. Who are you? The fucking president? What do you mean have my team reach out? You reach out. There's a just go to the Discord and click on support requests. And they'll answer you. Have your team reach out. Motherfucker, I don't know who you are. Right here. Open a ticket. And they will help you out, I promise. Dude acting like a head of state. Have your team reach out to me. What's going on with Duolingo? Terrible. Why would you even look at that company? If you're looking to make money, why would you look at that company? I have a funny feeling this plays out, but I'm not willing to risk it. So I've already accepted that. We'll see how this shapes out. And then we'll take a trade at market open. Meta dropping as usual. Nice. VIX up 5%, but was up a lot more until CPI was released. I think VIX gets crushed. Do you ever experience lag trading on Robinhood? No, never. There is one thing that happens where sometimes where your orders are placed, I can't show you now because I don't have an order, but there is sometimes when you're scrolling around and where your order is placed moves up and down. Like it doesn't change your trade, but visually it looks fucked up and you have to refresh it. But I've never experienced a lag, no. I actually think it's the best trading platform out right now, which is crazy to say. SOXL hit the 48 EMA and bounced like a champ. What's crazy is it was down 44% and it went from 280 to 160. That is a definite dollar cost average. DRAM as well. DRAM is the memory ETF. It hasn't been around that long, so that doesn't have a 48 EMA, but it did hit the 21 EMA. Like I said, I mean, with everything upcoming, the market is going to be volatile, and I'm switching more to finding share positions as opposed to swing trading. I think swing trading here can get you hurt a little bit until the market resets again. Would love to see Google at 350. Might finally take a stab at it again after buying it in the 140s. CRDO, strong buy. Yeah, I posted about that. What about Leap? What does that mean? Do you think SOXX hits 460 this summer? That's a tough one, dude. I think it's possible. But like I said, if you take a look at the AI build out, these stocks are doing really well. Even amidst the fuckery. I don't know why everyone's panicking. I mean, I get why. Like, I hold a lot of NASDAQ stocks in my IRA and stuff as well. So when you're looking at your IRA, you know, if you're in QQQ and SPY and Meta and Google and NVIDIA and all these companies, yeah, Friday and yesterday were not fun. But if you look at the AI build out itself, it looks perfectly normal. You would not even tell that there was market turmoil. Just curious why 48 EMA instead of 50 EMA? Okay, do 50. What are your thoughts on Coherent? I don't have thoughts. What are you talking about? An investment, a swing trade, day trading? They're panicking because they have call options in these stocks. That's also a very good point, actually. And why I've been very, 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 very selective with options. I think the last option that I traded, aside from buying QQQ puts yesterday morning, which saved our ass, I'll be honest. I sent out the hedge at 9:56 a.m. and the market started tanking. If you look at this, and anyone who's on the YouTube from the Discord can corroborate what I'm saying, just in case you think I'm bullshitting. Look at this, 9:40 a.m., 9:45, 9:50, 9:55. And I sent this out at 9:56. So we bought the QQQ puts here, and I bought them expiring in October because I wanted to hedge for the rest of June. And I did think we would get a down day yesterday, but obviously I didn't think we'd go from being up 1% to being down 2% in one day. So that's why those puts ended up printing 50%, even though they expired in October. And I ended up closing half of them and leaving the other half for today. So they'll still be up at market open. It's just, I will probably close it today just based on what the market is doing. I think that when you look at as well, if you pull up volume, these 2 days are the two biggest volume days for 2026. That's insane. Friday was definitely the biggest volume day on this sell-off. And yesterday was one of the biggest volume days for 2026. Just to give you a perspective, this entire run-up, look at the volume here. And the last big volume that we got, not surprisingly, maybe ironically, but not surprisingly, was the bottom here. So to me, this looks like just profit taking, June fuckery. Obviously, post Google raise, a scare from a potential Meta raise, post Broadcom earnings sell off, good jobs numbers, pre SpaceX IPO, testing the new Fed. All of that culminated here. But I do think that after June, this continues up. PDT, yeah, good point. Good point. Good point. What do you think about SpaceX IPO? I think it's going to be crazy. What else am I going to say? Does it make the investment case even stronger? How do you know? You don't have any numbers to look at. They're not a public company. Jay Rivas, I caught 17K off that move yesterday. Thanks again. Hell yeah. I love when people make money, man. Nikki T, I made 15K on Z's hedge alert. Fuck yeah. What are these we are looking at? Line graphs of what? Bro. Did you just click on a trading channel by accident? What do you mean, what are we looking at? I don't know. Did you mean to click on gorilla videos or something? How are you surprised that we're looking at charts? The channel is literally called The Traveling Trader. And every video on my channel is trading related. How are you surprised that we're looking at charts? The world will never cease to amaze me. I swear to God. The world will never cease to amaze me. Sometimes I don't get it. You know, I used to like write off the simulation theory. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Nick Bostrom talk, the scientist, about the simulation hypothesis. Very smart guy. And I'm like, how could a smart guy believe this? And he is a very smart guy. You should watch a podcast with him or read one of his books. But then the more that I encounter people in this world, the more I'm like, yeah, these people are like NPCs in a video game. Like, we live in the fucking Sims. It's crazy. Dude probably wanted to watch, I don't know, videos of gorillas eating bananas at a sanctuary, living a peaceful life, being taken care of. Was hit with fucking NQ and ES charts and just had to get it out of his system. So what are these line graphs we're looking at exactly? I don't know, bro. Go watch whatever channel you intended to watch. Be in peace. Do you think the SPY is going to continue down, or do you think we're going to go back up? I think that's a very low IQ question, dude. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. I mean, that's not how the market works. Is it going to go down or going to go back up? You look at the charts. If you're trading, you have an entry model, right? If the chart fits your entry model, you enter a trade. If it doesn't, you don't. You don't have to know every single thing about the market. As a matter of fact, if you think you know every single thing about the market, that's when you get burned. All I'm saying is a few things here. One, this is typically what you see on very, very standard pullbacks, right? This is typically what you see. The volume where we pulled back to, the character after 9 weeks of straight green. But use common sense, bro. We have the SpaceX IPO. We have FOMC. We have OPEX. We have June seasonality, right? We're in a midterm year. June is the worst month in a midterm year. Think about it. Is it plausible that the market can drop more? Yes, of course. So am I going to sit here and tell you, nope, we're going to go back up. This is the bottom. I just told you that the 21 EMA on the weekly in a healthy bull market gets hit 2 to 3 times a year. The 9 EMA weekly gets hit 3 to 4 times a year. We're at the 9 EMA. Would you be surprised if we hit the 21 EMA weekly and then went up? Common sense, bro. Nobody can tell you, nope, this is the absolute bottom, right? But if I'm looking at stocks like, say, Micron, I still have a trade here. It hasn't betrayed what we've been tracking all year long. 921 EMA. It hasn't betrayed that at all. So can you still take a trade here? And the answer is absolutely. If this fits your break and retest continuation model, you can absolutely take a trade here. You don't have to know whether this is the bottom or not. It's you have a trade that fits an entry model and that fits your risk tolerance. And if the answer is yes, you could take that trade with whatever position size matches your risk tolerance and your account size. But me or anybody else can't tell you if this is the bottom. I can tell you that this is a very typical healthy pullback, but it's only June 10th. Now, what I suspect will likely happen is that, everybody was bulled up before the SpaceX IPO. And for the SPY to drop 5% and for QQQ to drop 8%, that's a pretty big deal, right? Even though the AI stocks, surprisingly, the high beta AI stocks held up, which tells you that they do still have relative strength. But I would not be surprised if this shock to the market, where now everybody's is speaking in a bearish fashion, if this was required before the SpaceX IPO hits the deck, right? Because that's coming out on Friday. But we still have June FOMC. And if we did get down to the 21 EMA, that would make a lot of sense. We've only hit it once this year, and it was on that violent pullback in March and April. So what if we did this and then continued up? I hope that makes sense. You just have to look at the market logically and not think that technical analysis is sorcery that's going to solve all your problems. You either have a trade or you sit on your hands. From an investment perspective, I mean, that's an even easier game. Nobody's ever lost money over a 20-year period. Nobody. So you get yourself a tool like AlphaScope that allows you to look at fundamentals, and you start buying value. I like this PO3 here, and I'm glad I didn't stay in my short on NQ. I figured that by market open, we might see some fuckery. I thought CoreWeave was go-to. We sold our CoreWeave. But CoreWeave, remember, did an offering, dude. CoreWeave is not... CoreWeave is not like Nebius or Iron. I'll talk more about it in a second. You don't have to insult your viewers. They don't deserve this attitude. What attitude, dude? I'm trying to be helpful. Oh my God. Really? I'm trying to be helpful. Make sure people look at the market the correct way, as opposed to, are we going to go down more, or is this the bottom? Wow. That was unexpected, but okay, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Tone? Really? Like, I care that people understand the markets the proper way, because I've made almost every mistake in the book, dude. It took me a long time to understand the markets in the proper context. And that's the whole point of this channel, is to simplify it, but also not insult the markets, right? But to simplify it and to reframe how you view the markets, because we're all human and we all come into the markets thinking the same way. And you have to detach from that if you want to find some success in the market. There's no way you could have looked at that as me being insulting. I was trying to answer the dude honestly. Wait, you're talking about the person that said, why are we looking at line graphs? What is this channel about? Come on, bro. If that's what you're talking about, get the fuck out of here, bro. Come on. But the other guy that was asking me about the SPY bottom, no, I gave him the most respect. I gave him a fucking 10-minute answer. Core CPI 0.2. Yeah. Core CPI came in lower than expected. This is not trash price action. We are going to data low. And that has to happen before we go higher, right? We take data high and we take data low. So we are going to data low now. yeah, sure. I had the short pre-market. The reason I closed is because I knew that my stop could get hit on some fuckery. That's perfectly fine. Just managing the risk. But looking for data low to be taken on at least one of the indices. And then I think the day can start. The put hedges are still printing. For those of you that are in the puts from the Discord, as soon as we take data low, actually, I don't know, they expire in October. I was going to say if the indices take data low, I might close the puts because they're still up like 35%. I got to think about this one. Because do I want to hedge for tomorrow as well? Like, do we get one more down day before the SpaceX IPO? It's very possible. Hit data low and we can buy SOXL? Who are you asking, bro? If you're asking a stranger on the internet if you have permission to buy a leveraged ETF, you probably should stop trading until you learn more about the market, in my opinion. Depends what the theta is on your hedge. I mean, they're in the money right now. They're deep in the money because I have the 720 puts, Angelica, and they expire in October. So theta is not bad at all. I think SpaceX Day will be a big red candle. I think it will be crazy up and down. I think the market will think the world is ending and that the market is saved on the same day. Like if you look at the gamma for Friday, you can easily see that. There's a ton of gamma at 72.25. There's a ton of gamma at 74.25. Hey stranger, can I buy all sorts of shit super hyper leverage? Fool's asking permission. Fool's asking permission to buy SOXL. Some people think Z is the Nazi of YouTube trading. What the fuck does that mean? Are you insane? Oh, soup Nazi of trading? I have no idea, bro. Is that a Seinfeld reference? I don't watch Seinfeld. Never thought that dude was funny. That's just a personal opinion. Bro, this setup looks so nice here. Those of you in the Discord, this is what I was saying yesterday about Hood. That, you know, if you're looking for a non-tech stock that has a beautiful setup, and then if we pass this main trend line, I think we start going to the hundreds. SpaceX will do an Uber IPO rug pull. I mean, how are they going to rug pull people? Hold on. Okay, let's see this here. I wonder if we get an IFEG here. London high. We didn't take London high on ES yeah. Hmm. Did we take London high? Okay, 15-minute. Do we go for... Yeah, I think we'd go for Asia high. I don't like that play. Hood was a great call. Yeah. Inflation data out yet? No, dude. Tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Mind resuming your thoughts on CoreWeave? No, not right now. Really? We're just not going to tag Asia high? Okay, let's go to Asia high. So we have midnight here. On both NQ and ES. We have an order block right there too. Yeah, I think this gets here to Asia high. Trump is about to speak. If that wasn't enough, tomorrow we have PPI. I might take a long here. But NQ looks super weak compared to ES. Neither of them have taken Asia high. Microsoft looks like it wants support here off of this trend line. There it is. Fucking Asia high. We still have a lot of gamma down here at data low. I wonder if we make a move down there. NQ is the weaker one. It did not tag Asia high. What's the risk to reward on this? I want to take this. I like the risk to reward here. It's not necessarily the best trade. Because ES took Asia high, NQ didn't. So we have bearish divergence here. We still have a bunch of gamma at data low. There is some up here. Let me see what this looks like. 15-minute Asia high. I think we better wait until we start getting into this 4-hour here. Let's see. Yeah, I think if you look at gamma, it looks like we start tapping into that 4-hour, at least on the S&P. Let me look at gold real quick. QQQ is tracking SPX. Yeah, no shit, bro. What? First World Cup game is tomorrow. Will that have any effect? Yeah. Yeah. South Africa and Mexico, that's going to be huge for the stock market. I actually think that Broadcom is the most likely to tank because of the soccer game. and really depends on who wins. I mean, I think Intel could tank as well. Like if South Africa wins, I think Intel tanks. And if Mexico wins, then I think the SpaceX IPO gets delayed. So yeah, huge effect it's gonna have on the stock market for sure. Someone said, I can't tell if he's serious. Whoever said that, close your account right now. You don't deserve to have a brokerage account. I'm just saying. I'm trying to save you money. Just close it. Chipotle to the moon if Mexico wins. Chipotle is not even Mexican, bro. All right, let me see something here. Z is getting older. He hesitates on trades more often. You know who doesn't think I'm getting older? She actually tells me I'm getting younger. That's right. Your mother. She's always surprised by the renewed vigor that I bring. Come on, bro. The only trade that I saw viable was that long to Asia high on ES. There hasn't been, I mean, we've just been barcoding. So I don't know what trade you want me to take. I'm already in Robinhood. I think gold potentially has a long after sweeping the 2026 lows. Wonder if there's a long on gold. Silver is front running gold here. This is a unicorn too. There's a breaker right there. Let me see something. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this long on gold if it presents itself. So we have a breaker right here. Silver's front running gold. There's bullish divergence between gold and silver. Took out the daily, which is also the 2026 low. And we have these equal highs at midnight. All right, this is finally a trade I like here. Let's see, I'm gonna ladder into this. $4166.3. What? This makes no sense. 41. All right. I'm going to take this long on gold here. The 0.5 4181.3. So I decided to ladder in. So I have an order sitting at this unicorn just in case. But my experience with gold is that it likes to really just tap the 5-minute or 3-minute fair value gaps and then run. But silver was front running gold in a bullish manner, and we had bullish divergence at the lows. And the most important is that gold took out the 2026 low. So this right here back in March, this was the 2026 low. And gold had taken it, swept it, and then gave us a break of structure on the 5-minute. Gold also took out data low and data high, so that's not even a consideration for me right now. And this is also a 15-minute fair value gap. You see here. I do think there's a chance. I mean, I don't know. What are the indices doing? Fuck. They tapped that 4-hour that I was talking about. Let me look at something here. Yeah, even silver. Tap that 15-minute. And silver also swept. Oh no, there's bullish divergence here. Gold swept and silver didn't. I think silver can tag that high. The indices look. See, we tagged the 4-hour fair value gap. Let me see something. This is also the 0.5. The unicorn is at the 0.5 of this range. Hmm. I like that reaction off the 0.5. My only concern is that gold loves time levels, and there is 930 right there, as well as 830. We did already test those a couple of times. But let's see what happens on a day like CPI. Otherwise, this is an A+ trade, right? We have bullish divergence with silver. We broke market structure, retested at the 0.5. We haven't taken out any of the primary buy sides yet. But we took out data low already and data high, so that's not a threat. So we just wait. Where can I buy that hat? Oh, man. I don't even remember where we got these. This is part of the old merch from like 4 or 5 years ago. One mistake that I did, which was a misclick, was going in, because I'm in for 3 contracts, right? I went in for 2 here and 1 here when I should have done 1 here and 2 here, but whatever. Tashawn, Christine thinks it's short. The fuck is Christine? Why sell on high break? I'm not selling. This is a long position. Yeah, we definitely got rejected from the 1 hour order block, but rejected back down 15-minute. And then a potential rally back up to this 1 hour fair value gap. But yes, you're right. There is a 1 hour order block right there. Let's check on Oracle earnings real quick. The options market overestimated Oracle earnings move 33% of the time. So most of the time, Oracle beats the expected move. That's what this is saying. The only problem is that the expected move for Oracle here is higher than it's ever been. So right now, the expected move for Oracle is plus minus 12.6%. Last one was 9. Last one before that was 10, then 9, then 7, then 10, then 9. My stop is at the bottom of that 15-minute fair value gap. Here. So if I was to trade Oracle earnings, I would do a strangle, but the fact that it's plus minus 12.6%, I'm not going to touch it. Kirsten Cumbia Party is short gold. All right. Cool. I'm not sure what you want me to do about it. This pattern here looks really good for Oracle. I just looked at the Discord, dog. She's not fucking short. She's long. Why you gotta lie, bro? I just checked the Discord. She's not short. Oracle looks good here from a pattern perspective, but yeah, if you look here, the win rate on straddles and strangles is about 60%. But I just cannot do that. 12 points. This upcoming move is the most ever for Oracle. Meaning, if you buy straddle or strangle and it doesn't make a move up or down by 12.6%, you're going to lose money. Nice bounce off the 15-minute. I do want it to come up and tag that 1 hour fair value gap up here. But this trade could take a while. Especially if you're trading it off the 15-minute. This trade could take a while. So to be patient here. Like I said, the only this is an A+ trade for me, but the only mistake I did was entering 2 and 1 instead of 1 and 2. Would have got a little better average price, but it is what it is. It's my first trade of the day. Yeah, 12.6% is a lot. That's for sure. I think Broadcom here is decent. But you might as well wait for the 100 or 200 moving averages. I mean, it is almost at the golden pocket. So 930 here on gold. Like I said, gold does love time levels. Let me look at silver real quick, if it's still holding up. Yeah, silver's still holding up here. Gamma's really not very remarkable here. Let's see if I get stopped out here, which would be unfortunate, but it was an A+ trade, so stopped. All right. 1 L for the day. Should have taken that ES to London high, but I mean, oh well. Would I re-enter this? Let me look. No. Yeah, I can't touch the indices here either. I mean, you could justify a long or a short. We still did not take data low, so there's that. And that may be where the indices are going right now. But I don't see anything A+ here. The gold trade to me was A+. Neither NQ or ES took data low. And I just don't see an A+ trade going there. In terms of stocks here that I'm looking at, I mean, I think Broadcom will be very interesting soon at the 200-day, even though I do own it from 300. Oh, yeah. I wonder what Intel's doing. I mean, Intel did drop out of this bull flag. and is back in it. This is the type of consolidation you typically see before big moves. This coiling here. Any intention of putting hedges back on? I have half of the QQQ hedge. Sagar Al-Rumi. Watching 1K, yet chat is inactive. Something doesn't add up. What does that mean? Let me look at this motherfucker's channel. Oh, I see what he means. This motherfucker is uploading videos of him, what, playing video games like a child? 12 views in 4 years. 4 views in 3 years. 4 views in 3 years. He uploaded this. He tried again a month ago. No views. So obviously, he thinks the internet is rigged. And anyone that gets views is doing something nefarious. Because in 4 years, this dumb motherfucker, Sagar Al-Rumi, cannot figure out how to get more than 4 views. Motherfucker sitting at home playing video games, eating biryani all day. Wondering why he has 4 views in 4 years. Watch my Elden Ring Dragon Slaying upload. Oh my god, what a fucking fag. What a complete loser, dude. No, I'm not going to be your 1 view on a video that has 0 views. I just will not do it. Oh, that's what stops are for. Holy shit. Yeah, I think the gamma isn't too clear because we have equal amounts of gamma above and below. I think, going for data low makes sense. Remember, we have PPI tomorrow. Oh, man. I mean, at least the hedges are still printing, but this is nowhere near yesterday's low. Yeah, I mean, even iron looks like shit here, to be honest. Not like shit. It's just, like I said, I'm not very swing trade heavy at the moment. In June, I am thinking that it is the time to start picking things up. Once 830 low gets taken by, or the 830 low, which is data low, gets taken by at least one of these indices. If that gamma disappears, then I'll be in for potentially for longs for the day. Silvar took one trade and took an L on it, which was a gold long. Service now is actually green here. This is a great setup. But if you look at service now, $21.4 PE. Look at the revenue, gross profit, EBITDA, cash from operations, free cash flow, super low debt. This is such a fantastic company. 112 billion market cap. Gold bouncing? What are you looking at, dude? Oh, for another long? It has to be A plus for me to take it, to be honest. So I need to wait for at least a CISD here. At least. Otherwise, I cannot take this. Do you pay the $19 for AlphaScope? I started AlphaScope, dude. I pay much more than $19 a month. I have to upkeep it. Yeah, IGV does look good here too. I mean, in terms of long-term stocks, IGV looks great here. Service now looks great here. What is NVIDIA doing? As long as NVIDIA stays in this daily fair value gap, I think it's all right. Yeah, I don't trust the indices yet. Being that they're down here, I would want at least one of them to take out data low. At least one of them before doing anything. The funny thing is the gamma below and the gamma above is increasing. But this tells me data low will at least get taken on ES. And then potentially higher. But let's see. Yeah, this is not even halfway down of where we were yesterday. Like yesterday was a bloodbath. Will you buy SPCX on Friday? Yeah, dude. I'm going to chase a fucking IPO that I didn't invest in years ago. Everyone and their mom is gonna buy that, dude. It's a crowded trade. It's just gonna be a matter of, can you sell it fast enough to make money? Data low is $73.19. Sell cash secure puts on gold. I think selling cash secure puts on things you want to, on certain things you want to own. Yeah, I think it's decent right now. But I personally don't care to own gold. I think a lot of people got burned and are going to get burned, thinking that gold is going to save them. No, what I was saying about gamma is there's gamma above and below, right? Like I was convinced that data low would get hit at some point today, but it wasn't telling if you're just looking at gamma at that point. Like if you rewind, there was no telling just looking at gamma, right? Which direction would we go up, clear this, and then come back down? But 830 low, is the draw, which NQ is about to hit. And then I think there's a potential that we go back up today. Do you think a rate hike is priced in for December? 42% priced in, 43% priced in, one rate hike, two rate hikes priced in, 19.6%. So yeah, it's priced in, which means if it doesn't happen, it'll be bullish. What are your thoughts on PayPal? I would appreciate if you don't ask me thoughts questions. That's a lazy question. You mean about the company, the fundamentals, a swing trade, a day trade? Just saying thoughts. Is super lazy. Data low about to get tagged on NQ. There it is. Is that data you just pulled up for free? What data? I wasn't being sarcastic. What did I say that was sarcastic? Wonder if we get a long here. Still got a little bit more to tag. What is gold doing? Yeah, if I'm going to trade gold again, I need ultra confirmation. I think, sweeping 2026 low, that could set up a nice play, but it has to be A+, especially since I took an L on it earlier. I might close out the hedges, guys. For those of you in the Discord, the QQQ puts, I might close those out. I think Netflix looks good for a CSP. The only thing is I don't think it pays much. Like, what are you going to get for an August CSP on Netflix? Actually, it's better than I thought. You could sell the 75 put and get almost $2 expiring August 21st. It's all right. Twice you've called out the ES targets correctly. I know, but I didn't take a trade, so oh well. Not on ES. I was busy fucking trading gold. Unfortunately. Doesn't look like this is done. There's still 7,300 down here. I can't short the lows. Yeah, I think I'm going to close out those QQQ puts today. Because even if you look at the weekly, yeah, I think I'm going to close out those puts, guys. And we'll reopen a hedge on the next green day. Yeah, I think this is a decent cash secure put level for Palantir as well. Is Trump live? Let me see if I can find it. We'll stream it here.
You're watching live now from Fox. Welcome in here. Live look at the White House this morning as we have a lot of news coming from President Trump as it pertains to Iran. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Christy Matino. President Trump just posting to Truth Social.
This is not now.
Water leak through this town. So we're very proud of it. It's going to be great. Now we're doing a new surface on the World War II fountain because the surface is so bad. And that'll be done during the next couple of, we're going to start it in a week or so, finish it very quickly. But we've done a great job. And the city is, everyone's coming up to me saying, the city is so beautiful. So we have 22 fountains that none of them worked. The earliest, I'm telling you, is 50 years. For 50 years, some of them haven't worked for 100 years, but we have fountains that were not working and were disgusting and dirty, and they're all beautiful now, every one of them. We also took care of a lot of the monuments, not fountains, but monuments, and they're all in good shape. Some of them are being finished up now, and it's incredible. And my goal was to get it all done along with Interior and others that worked with us to get it done before the July 4th date. July 4th was a very important date. So that was the date we looked at, and we did a hell of a job. But everybody's looking at that reflecting pool. They can't believe it. Reflects. We used a dark blue. It's called American flag blue.
The fuck is this guy talking about, bro? Fountains and paint. Yeah, I think based on gamma, we do one more sweep down here. Is UVixie a decent hedge? You have to time it properly, or else you're going to lose your money. One second. I'll be right back.
And now you can't get a restaurant in Washington. Everyone wants to have a restaurant there. It's a whole different. So it's something we're very proud of. New Orleans, the same thing, by the way. It's a little earlier in the process. But if I got a call from your governor, I got a call from Steve. They called me together actually, and they said,
safest Mardi Gras?
They said, we've never had a Mardi Gras like that. They had the lowest crime they've ever had in the history of the Mardi Gras, which has been going on for a long time. They usually, Steve said, they usually have numerous numbers of murders. They had none, but beyond murders, I heard it was the best you've ever had. Right?
It really was. A great Super Bowl, too.
And Memphis, and that's going to be great for the Super Bowl, because we'll keep it that way. I think you're bidding on the Super Bowl coming in
2031.
Yeah, and it's going to be, now you can really say it was a safe city. And the other one is Memphis. Crime is down 77%. Can you believe it? People are calling me up, friends that were leaving Memphis. We're all leaving, and now they're staying. And the governor's, everyone's thrilled. It's amazing. And if they would call me for Chicago, we'd straighten out Chicago so fast. We'd straighten out New York fast. We'd straighten out Los Angeles fast. We do it really well. And part of it is you have to get the really bad ones. You have to get the career criminals out, because they'll hit you hard, and they ought to get rid of, by the way, cashless bail. You ought to do that as soon as possible. Mark Wayne? That's right. Where they walk in, they commit a crime, they go out, in the afternoon they commit another crime. And sometimes those crimes are murder.
Right back on the street, that's right.
Cashless, I'll tell you what, cashless bail was a tremendous help to criminals. It's one of the greatest things that ever happened to a criminal. And they ought to end it. In every city, they ought to end it. Chicago, New York, LA, they ought to end it. Starting on day one of my administration, we took the most dangerous, unsafe, violent open border in the world. We had the most unsafe border, I believe, anywhere in the world. And the numbers came out 2 days ago that for 11 months, not one person came into our country illegally through the southern border. We had 25 million people come in over a 4-year period. We have it good, and nobody tries to come in. All the caravans, I came up with the name caravan. You'd have 25, 30,000 people coming up, and they'd pour through the border. You've seen the scenes where they're knocking over the fences. A very, very bad, very dangerous situation. We don't have them anymore because they know they can't get through. So when they know they can't get through, they don't come. And a lot of lives are saved. Women were being raped on the journey up. They were being raped in numbers. 25, 30% were being raped coming up. You don't have that anymore because they don't come up in caravans anymore because they know they're not going to get through. So starting on day one, we took the most dangerous and unsafe, violent, open border in the world, and we created the most secure border anywhere in our country, probably one of the most in the world. I believe it was the most insecure and unsecure border anywhere in the world because there's no country, even a third world country, that has a situation like that where you'd have criminals just walk across totally unchecked. They had the Biden, it wasn't Biden, he didn't know what the hell was going on. It was people that are radical left lunatics who were very smart, very violent, very vicious, politically vicious. And they allowed this open border policy where millions of people came into our country, unchecked, unvetted, people from jails, people, drug dealers, people from mental institutions. Jails and mental institutions from all over the world were emptied out into our country. And we've got a lot of them out. We have a ways to go. It's very tough with the courts because the judges have been very terrible. They've been terrible. Very sad. But we're fighting our way through it. We have made this in fact, we've made it a country that, as you saw last month, they said we had the lowest murder rate that we've had in 125 years. Think of that. And that's despite the fact, because we got a lot out, but we do have more. We had 11,888 people come into our country who committed a murder. 50%, more than 50%, created more than one murder. Think of that. So you had people coming, I think seven murders. We allowed them into the country. We got most of them out. In the last 12 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted into the United States. We cut the flow of fentanyl across our border by almost 60%. Think of that. And by the way, coming in by sea, 97%. And we're looking for the 3% because we think they're...
All right. Trump is not saying anything that's going to move the markets, in my opinion. What is gold doing here? See if we can find a trade. Gold is doing fuck all. I want to see if we're getting Intel calls here. I did stop out of Intel last week. It was one of my last swing trades. But I wonder if Intel gets to the 50-day moving average. Let me look at something real quick. Not seeing a ton of calls here. Oh. Yo. $8 million on Tesla calls expiring in 37 days. Yeah, that's insane. I wonder what Tesla cash secure puts are going for. Let's see. July 17th. You can sell the 310, which is the 20 delta, for $300. I'm gonna think about that. For those of you that are wondering which tool this is, it's the same one that I use for looking at gamma levels, unusual whales. And no, it's not free. But if you put in the code TTT, you should get a discount of some sort. I wonder if we reject here and go back down. Let me see something. What time is it? There just isn't a good entry model here. Oh, this thing is like fucking magic. Unreal. Rejection here. Support here. Unreal. I'm going to start putting together
Then we had the unmanned boat going very, very fast at speeds that you...
I'm going to start putting together a list of things that I want to buy. Does the platform have gamma data? That's what this is, dude. It's right here. Trump must have said something. No, man. These gamma levels were up here before Trump. Trump said he's going to attack Iran hard. Okay. For the 10 millionth time he said that. PPI tomorrow, then SpaceX on Friday. Yeah. And if that's not enough, FOMC is next week. And OPEX. Yeah, and Friday's a holiday. So OPEX is actually on Thursday. But I'm going to put together a list of things I want to buy because there's some stuff that looks good here. Is buying pre-IPO shares not wise? It's not wise to do anything that you have to ask a stranger about. First of all, let's just be honest and commonsensical. Anything that you have no clue what to do and you're committing hard-earned resources to, and you have to ask a stranger about it, is not wise. Because it shows you've literally read nothing. And you can easily put that in a chat box and start reading. But here's what previous IPOs did. Every single one of them has brutal 1-year max drawdowns. Now, you can make the case that SpaceX is different because they're changing the requirements to $2,000 required to invest in SpaceX, but as well as the launch of leveraged ETFs immediately, as well as the removal of PDT. Okay, we hit this major gamma level, 7,300. Want to see what starts lighting up here. But we have some building at 7,380. I wonder if we get a long here. What's dangerous to me is that I think no, let's see if we get confirmation. Okay, let's start there. IBM looks good here. Yeah, I think we might get longs in the PM session. We're coming up on lunch here. If we get a confirmation on gold, what is silver doing? I think this can turn into a long. If we got this, we'd also have an inverse 5-minute. There might be a long here, guys. There might be a long. So we have a 3-minute CISD, a 2-minute CISD, a 5-minute IFEG. I wonder if this play is here. Hang on. Yeah, I might take this on gold, guys. So we have a 5-minute. We have a sweep, 5-minute close, 3-minute CISD. I mean, do we even have a 5-minute CISD? Five-minute IFVG. But I think gold is tracking the indices as well. Do I want to take this trade? I think it's a decent risk to reward. I'm going to take this trade. And I'll set break even if we get there. All right. If we get to that high, which is that, then I'll set it to break even. And see if we could take this up to 930. The only thing that I think that gold is tracking the indices. Yeah, we still have a fuck ton of gamma down here. Eh. Maybe I'll look for a PM trade. Yeah. I'll look for a PM trade. After this clears up here. If you guys are in the Discord, I'll see you in there. Obviously, when I take trades, I'll send them out. But I do think there's some stuff that is looking attractive to buy here. Don't forget Oracle earnings tonight. And that could have an effect on the market. Oh yeah, I'm gonna send some stuff out for the AI portfolio. It's getting a little too juicy here, in my opinion. Come on, Google. Almost at 350. Yeah, the reason that I closed this trade, because gold is tracking the indices, and the indices to me still look weak. So the logic there is I'm waiting for this to clear up because it's still insane here. There was a 14-day trial, I thought. Hell no. There's way too many people in the Discord right now. But yeah, there's some really attractive looking stuff here. So if you're in the Discord, I'll be sending that out today. Yeah. Yeah. When's the mastermind so I can get the course? I don't have a course, dude. When I have time, I teach a live mastermind. It's not a course. But haven't done one this year. Or I might have done one beginning of the year. Just haven't had the time, to be honest. All right, guys. I'll see you all in the Discord. Look out for the alerts on the AI build-out stocks because it's starting to get pretty attractive here. And for the rest of y'all, see y'all in the next video. Peace.